Inclusive design for a new tribunal building, a project from VCAT, Victorian Civil and Administrative Tribunal, Meld Studios, and AbilityWorks. VCAT wanted to understand how people vulnerable to exclusion experience civil tribunal hearings to inform the inclusive design of their new headquarters in Melbourne. The organization was striving to truly embrace universal design principles, centering people with lived experience of exclusion to make sure their future space would be welcoming and accessible to all. Going through a tribunal process can be stressful and emotional, so it was important to make the research contextual. We wouldn't get the same insights talking theoretically on Zoom. However, our challenge was that for privacy reasons, we couldn't directly contact people going through the system, so we needed to get creative with our approach. Our primary research methodology was to simulate the whole VCAT experience, right from receiving a notification of hearing or mediation, through navigating to the venue, through security in the waiting area, to the hearing or mediation, and finally exiting the venue. We wanted to elicit real actions, emotions, and feedback as though participants were going through the experience. To do this, we asked them to put their thoughts and feelings on speakerphones so we could understand their decision-making processes, how they were interpreting the environment, what barriers or facilitators they were encountering, and their impact. Because our participants had experienced barriers navigating government services and justice settings before, or exclusion in their daily lives, our primary concern was not to re-traumatize them through our research, so we took a trauma-informed approach. This included rigorous and open communication, understanding participants' support needs ahead of time, carefully explaining consent, and checking frequently during the session for well-being. We had the opportunity to both shadow participants and also stand back and observe without intervening. Here you can see Robert arriving at the venue. He asked us ahead of time not to intervene so that we could watch as he approached, and we could see that he was approaching an unstaffed service desk. This is one example that informed the design of the entrance spaces in the building and helped decision makers balance the need for staff versus automated or visual navigation elements on arrival. One of our participants is neurodiverse and experiences anxiety. She was overwhelmed at the checklist ahead of security, sharing that the list was triggering and in real life she wouldn't enter the premises. We shared this video with our stakeholders, helping them to understand how those with less visible disabilities still experience barriers to accessing services. Another participant shared how accessible bathrooms are not accessible to those with catheters. Instead of using a bathroom like this, he would prefer to go outside and use a tree, which in an environment like VCAT could mean missing his hearing. This showed decision makers how DDA compliance doesn't always go far enough. We role-played hearings and mediations with our participants. Here you see one designer playing the member or judge, and the other the participant's opponent, using a scenario where a landlord is not returning a bond, a common hearing type at VCAT. This helped us uncover insights about lighting, sound, acoustics, seating, and room layout that we shared with architects so they could make adjustments to their plans based on first-hand feedback. A key part of design research is taking the findings and deciding what we should be doing moving forward. We were able to bring together members of the staff, architects, as well as people with lived experience, all together to share what was found. Our participants played a key role helping to design the workshops, and they shared their stories and they led activities. The impact of the work has been twofold. Firstly, it influenced architects to change the designs for the new building. There wasn't space at security in the early designs for a private pat-down area, but as a result of this work, there is now. Lisa Overton. It influenced a mindset shift and changes to practices throughout the organization. The impact of doing it with people has been a change. Breaking that way of thinking, it was a mindset shift as much as it was a practice shift. Lisa Overton. We look forward to an accessible and welcoming VCAT in the years to come.